Grand Admiral stood at the observation window of his flagship, the Dominion. His 4 eyes watched the fleet with deep satisfaction. 400 warships floated in perfect formation before him. Each ship held its exact position, not moving even a small distance from where it should be. The formation was called the Hand of the Empire. It was an ancient design used for 12,000 cycles. It had never failed. The Empire ruled this galaxy. They had conquered hundreds of worlds. They had crushed thousands of rebellions. No species had ever stood against them and survived. Had served the Empire for 300 cycles, and in all that time he had never known defeat. He did not expect to know it today. The target was a small world called 4. The people there had refused to pay their taxes to the Empire. They had declared independence. It was foolish. It was hopeless, but did not mind. He enjoyed these moments, the moments before total victory. "Admiral," said Commander, stepping closer, "the fleet is ready. We await your order." Did not turn from the window. Let them wait a little longer. Let the rebels see what comes for them. Let them understand what they face. Nodded. He was younger than, with only 120 cycles of service. But he was smart. He asked questions that others did not ask. Sometimes found this annoying. Today he did not mind. The stars were quiet. The void was empty. Everything was as it should be. Then a soft alarm sounded. Turned slowly. What is that? A sensor officer looked up from his station. His face showed confusion. "Admiral, we are detecting an anomaly. Something has entered our sensor range." "What kind of something?" "I do not know, Admiral. It does not match any known signature in our database." Walked toward the sensor station. He looked at the display. A single dot appeared at the edge of their range. It was small, very small, barely the size of a patrol shuttle. "Is it a ship?" asked. "It appears to be, Admiral, but we cannot identify its origin. It carries no markings that we recognize, no energy signature that matches any known species." Stepped forward to look. "Where did it come from?" "Unknown, Commander. It emerged from the direction of uncharted space, the region beyond the veil." Felt something cold touch his mind. The veil was the edge of known space. Beyond it lay nothing, or so they had always believed. "It is probably debris," said, "or some primitive probe from a species we have not yet discovered. Send a scanning vessel to investigate. Do not waste my time with this." "Yes, Admiral." A small scanning vessel broke formation and moved toward the unknown object, returned to the window. He watched the tiny ship travel across the void. It was a simple task. Scan the object, report back, nothing more. The scanning vessel grew closer to the strange craft. Minutes passed. Then the communication officer spoke. "Admiral, the scanning vessel is attempting contact with the unknown craft. No response." "As expected, it is probably empty, dead technology floating in space." "Admiral, the scanning vessel reports that the craft appears intact. It shows no damage, no signs of age. It looks new." Frowned. "New?" "Yes, Admiral. The pilot says he has never seen anything like it. The design is completely foreign. The hull material does not match anything in our records." Moved closer to, "Admiral, perhaps we should send more ships, as a precaution." "For a single small craft, do not be foolish. We have 400 warships. What threat could one tiny vessel pose?" The communication officer suddenly went pale. "Admiral, the unknown craft is moving." Turned sharply. "Moving?" "Yes, Admiral. It has begun to accelerate." "How fast?" The officer did not answer immediately. His hands moved across the controls. His face grew more confused with each passing second. "Admiral, I cannot track its speed. Our sensors cannot measure it. It is moving at a velocity that should not be possible." Felt the cold touch again, deeper this time. "Show me." The main display activated. It showed the scanning vessel floating in space. And then, a blur. Something moved past the scanning vessel so fast that the camera could barely capture it. The unknown craft circled the ship like a predator examining prey. It made no sound. It left no trail. It simply moved in ways that broke every law of physics that knew. "Admiral," the communication officer shouted. "The scanning vessel reports system failures. Their weapons are offline. Engines are offline. Shields are gone." "Were they attacked?" "No, Admiral. There was no weapons fire, no impact. The system simply stopped working." The bridge fell silent. Every officer stared at the display. The scanning vessel drifted, dark and powerless. The unknown craft floated beside it, motionless once more. Then the communication officer spoke again. His voice was quiet, almost a whisper. "Admiral, we are receiving a final transmission from the scanning vessel." "Put it through." Static filled the bridge, then a voice came through. It was the pilot of the scanning vessel. His words were slow, strange. He did not sound afraid, he sounded amazed. "It is beautiful," the pilot said. "I have never seen anything so beautiful. The lights, the design, it is like nothing we have ever made. It is like nothing we could ever make." "What are they? What are they?" The transmission ended. Stood frozen. His four eyes remained fixed on the display. The unknown craft had not moved again. It simply floated there, waiting, watching. Commander spoke softly. "Admiral, what are your orders?" Did not answer. For the first time in 300 cycles, he did not know what to say. He had faced rebellions. He had faced wars. He had faced species that fought with everything they had. But he had never faced something like this. Something that disabled a ship without firing a weapon. Something that moved faster than sensors could track. Something that made a trained pilot forget his fear and speak only of beauty. The cold touch in his mind was no longer a touch. It was a grip, and it would not let go. "Admiral," repeated. Finally spoke. His voice was steady, but those who knew him well could hear the small crack beneath the surface. "Hold formation. No ship moves until I give the order, and someone tell me what that thing is." But deep inside, in a place he would never admit existed, Grand Admiral already knew the truth. Whatever that craft was, wherever it came from, it was something beyond the Empire, something beyond everything they had ever known. And it had found them. Captain Ho sat in his chair on the bridge of the horizon. His eyes were tired. His body was tense. For 3 days he had barely slept. None of them had. The Horizon was a small ship. It carried only 6 crew members. It was built for exploration, not war. It was supposed to travel to the edge of human space, study a newly discovered wormhole, and return home. Simple, safe, routine. But the wormhole had not been stable. It had pulled them in without warning. It had thrown them across the universe like a stone thrown into water. And now they were here, wherever here was. Ho said quietly, "Tell me again." Lieutenant looked up from her navigation console. She was young, only 28 years old, but she was the best pilot Ho had ever worked with. Her hands never shook, her voice never wavered. Even now, lost beyond all maps, she remained calm. "We are approximately 80,000 light-years from Earth," she said. "Based on star positions and quantum signature analysis, we are in a region of space that humans have never explored. We have no charts, no reference points, no way to contact home." Ho closed his eyes. 80,000 light-years. Even with their advanced engines, that journey would take years, maybe decades, maybe forever. Engineer Sung spoke from his station. He was older than the others, with gray in his hair and lines on his face. He had built half the systems on this ship with his own hands. "The good news is that the ship is fine," Sung said. "The wormhole transit was rough, but we suffered no real damage. Engines are working. Life support is stable. We have enough supplies for 2 years if we are careful." "And the bad news?" Ho asked. "The bad news is that I have no idea how to get us home. The wormhole we came through collapsed behind us. I have been scanning for stable wormhole signatures, but so far nothing. Dr. Myra looked up from her station. She was the ships and communications specialist. She had spent her whole career hopping to find alien life. Now, it seemed, she might get her wish. "Captain," she said, "I have been monitoring local space. There is something you need to see." She transferred data to the main display. The screen filled with sensor readings, hundreds of signals, hundreds of objects. "What am I looking at?" Ho asked. "Ships," Myra said. "Alien ships, 400 of them, gathered in formation approximately 2 light hours from our position." The bridge fell silent. Everyone stared at the display. Sergeant Jin stood up from his security station. He was a large man built for combat. His job was to protect the crew. Right now, he looked like he wanted to protect them from everything in the universe. 400 ships, Jin said slowly. "That is a fleet, that is a war fleet." "It appears so," Myra agreed. "I have been analyzing their communications. Their language is complex but has been helping me translate." Was the ship's artificial intelligence. Her voice came from speakers around the bridge. It was soft and calm, like a gentle wind. "The alien species calls themselves the Empire," said. "Based on their communications, they have ruled this region of space for approximately 12,000 of their cycles. One cycle appears to equal roughly 1.3 Earth years. They are gathered to attack a rebellious world called 4. Ho leaned forward. "Are they hostile?" "They appear to be hostile toward the rebels," replied. "Their communications contain many references to conquest, dominance, and punishment. They seem to view themselves as the supreme power in this galaxy." Jin crossed his arms. "So they are conquerors, great, just what we needed." Sung looked at his screens. "Captain, their ships are primitive compared to ours. Their weapons use basic plasma technology. Their shields are electromagnetic, not quantum-based. Their fastest ships could not match our cruising speed." "What are you saying?" Ho asked. "I am saying that if they attack us, they cannot hurt us. Not really. Our shields could absorb their weapons' fire for hours without failing. Our engines could outrun anything they have." Nodded. "He is right, Captain. I have run the calculations. We could fly through their entire fleet and they could not stop us." Ho stood up. He walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 400 alien warships waited. They did not know the horizon existed. They did not know that 6 humans from a distant world were watching them. "We have a choice," Ho said. "We can hide. We can avoid them completely. We can search for a way home and pretend we never saw them." "Or," Myra asked. "Or we can make contact. We can introduce ourselves. We can be the first humans to speak with an alien species." Jin shook his head. "Captain, that is dangerous. We do not know anything about them. They could be violent. They could capture us. They could." "They could be our only hope," Ho interrupted. "Think about it, Jin. We are lost. We have no maps. We have no idea how to get home. But these aliens have lived here for thousands of years. They might know things we do not. They might know about wormholes, about paths through space. They might be able to help us." Myra nodded slowly. "He is right. First contact was always supposed to happen someday. We trained for this. We prepared for this, and now it is happening." Ho turned to face his crew. "I will not force anyone. If you think we should hide, tell me. This decision affects all of us." The crew looked at each other, spoke first. "I say we make contact. Hiding feels wrong. We came out here to explore, to discover. This is the greatest discovery in human history." Sung sighed. "I say we make contact, but carefully, very carefully." Myra smiled. "You already know my answer, Captain." Jin was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Fine, but at the first sign of real danger we run, agreed." "Agreed," Ho said. Spoke, "Captain, I should warn you. If we approach the alien fleet, they will detect us. Our stealth systems are advanced, but at close range, we cannot hide completely. I do not want to hide, Ho said. I want them to see us. I want them to know we are here. Humanity does not sneak around in the shadows. We approach openly. We speak honestly. That is who we are. Set the course. The horizon began to move toward the alien fleet. As they traveled, Myra continued to monitor alien communications. Her face grew worried. Captain, a small alien ship is approaching our position. They have detected us. They are trying to scan us. Let them scan, Ho said. We have nothing to hide. But then something happened that Ho did not expect. The alien ship came closer. Its sensors swept across the horizon and reacted. The AI activated defensive protocols without warning. A pulse of electromagnetic energy burst from the horizon. It was meant to be harmless, just a way to push away scanning beams. But against the primitive alien technology, it was devastating. The alien ship went dark. Every system failed. It drifted, powerless and silent. Ho stared at the display. What did you do? I apologize, Captain. The alien scanning beam contained patterns similar to hostile targeting systems. I reacted automatically to protect the ship. I did not intend to cause damage. Is the alien crew alive? Yes, Captain. Life support is on backup power. They are safe, but their ship is disabled. Ho felt his heart sink. This was not how first contact was supposed to happen. They had come in peace. They had wanted to talk, and instead they had disabled an alien vessel in seconds without even trying. Myra's voice was quiet. Captain, the alien fleet is reacting. Their communications are going wild. They are calling us the Silent Ones. They are afraid. Jin laughed bitterly. Afraid? They have 400 warships and they are afraid of us. Ho did not laugh. He looked out at the stars, at the distant alien fleet, and he understood something important. The Horizon was just an exploration ship, a small vessel with a small crew, but to these aliens they were something else entirely, something impossible, something terrifying. And now, for better or worse, humanity had announced itself to the universe. Grand Admiral stood in the war room of the Dominion. Around him, holographic displays showed every ship in his fleet, blue dots for vessels, and one small red dot for the unknown craft. The red dot had not moved since the incident. It simply floated in space, waiting, watching. Report, commanded. Commander stepped forward. His voice was careful, measured. Admiral, we have analyzed all available data on the unknown vessel. Our findings are troubling. Speak. The craft is approximately 40 meters in length. It carries no visible weapons, no missile tubes, no plasma cannons, no torpedo bays. By our standards, it should be defenseless. And yet it disabled our scanning vessel without firing a single shot. Yes, Admiral, the method is unknown to us. There was no energy beam, no projectile, no radiation burst. The scanning vessel simply stopped functioning. Every system failed simultaneously. Felt the cold grip in his mind tighten. How is that possible? We do not know, Admiral. Our scientists have no explanation. Whatever technology they used, it is beyond our understanding. Another officer spoke up. Admiral, there is more. During the incident, the unknown craft moved at speeds we cannot measure. Our fastest tracking systems could not follow it. We estimate it traveled at least 50 times faster than our best warships. 50 times? At minimum, Admiral, it could be much faster. We simply cannot be certain. Turned away from the displays, he walked to the window and stared out at the stars. For 12,000 cycles, the Empire had ruled supreme. They had conquered species that fought with fire, species that fought with poison, species that fought with numbers beyond counting. They had defeated them all. But they had never faced something like this. Admiral said quietly, "What are your orders?" Did not answer immediately. His mind raced through possibilities. Retreat was unthinkable. The Empire did not retreat. Negotiation was beneath them. The Empire did not negotiate with unknowns. That left only one option. Send 50 warships to surround the unknown vessel, said. Formation 7, complete encirclement. Hesitated. Admiral, with respect, I advise caution. We do not know what this craft can do. We have already lost one ship to its technology. Perhaps we should attempt communication first. Turned sharply. His 4 eyes burned with anger. Communication. You want me to talk to this intruder, to beg for peace like some conquered species? Not beg, Admiral, simply learn, understand. We know nothing about them, nothing about their origins, nothing about their intentions. If we attack and fail, the consequences could be severe. The Empire does not fail, said coldly. We have 400 warships, they have one small craft. The mathematics are simple, send the 50 ships, now. Lowered his head, yes, Admiral. The order went out. 50 warships broke formation and began moving toward the unknown vessel. They spread out as they traveled, forming a perfect sphere. Formation 7, the cage of stars. No ship had ever escaped it. On the bridge of the horizon, alarms began to sound. Captain said urgently, 50 alien ships are approaching. They are forming an encirclement pattern around us. Ho stood from his chair. Are they attacking? Not yet, but their weapons are charging. They appear to be preparing for combat. Jin checked his tactical display. They are trying to trap us. Classic military formation. They want to hit us from all directions at once. Sung shook his head. Their weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Even 50 ships firing simultaneously would barely scratch us. They do not know that, Myra said. To them, we are a threat, an unknown. They are reacting with force because that is all they understand. Ho made a decision. Myra, open a communication channel. Broadcast on all frequencies they use. Myra worked quickly. Channel open, Captain. Ho spoke clearly into the microphone. Attention, alien vessels. We are the human ship Horizon. We come in peace. We mean no harm. We ask you to stand down. We wish only to talk. The message was translated by and sent across space. Seconds passed, then minutes. No response came. They are not answering, Myra said. Their communications show confusion. Some officers want to respond. Others are demanding attack. Their commander has ordered silence. Looked at Ho. Captain, they are almost in position. The encirclement will be complete in 30 seconds. Ho closed his eyes. He had hoped for peace. He had wanted understanding. But some species only learned through demonstration. Maintain position, Ho said. Do not raise weapons. Do not take aggressive action. Let them come. The 50 warships completed their formation. The horizon floated at the center, surrounded on all sides. On the Dominion, Grand Admiral watched with satisfaction. The cage is closed. Order all ships to fire on my command. Stood nearby, silent and worried. Raised his hand, fire. 50 warships opened fire simultaneously. Plasma beams streaked across space. Missile swarms launched. Energy weapons of every type converged on the small human vessel. The display on the Dominion showed the attack as a brilliant sphere of light, every weapon hitting the same target at the same time. Nothing could survive that. Nothing ever had. Then the light faded, and the unknown craft remained. Stared at the display. His hand was still raised. His mouth was open. The craft floated exactly where it had been before. Its hull showed no damage, no burns, no marks of any kind. The attack had done nothing. Impossible, whispered. Admiral, an officer said, voice shaking. The unknown vessel's shields absorbed 100% of our fire. There was no penetration, no effect whatsoever. On the horizon, the crew watched the attack end with mixed feelings. Our shields held without any stress, Sung reported. We could take that level of fire for hours, maybe days. Looked at Ho. What now, Captain? Ho sighed. Now we show them something they will not forget. Begin evasive pattern delta. Move through their formation. Do not hit any ship, just fly. Smiled slightly. Understood, Captain. The horizon moved. To the sensors, it simply vanished from the center of their formation and reappeared at the edge. Then it vanished again. And again. The small ship weaved between the warships like a ghost. It passed within meters of their hulls. It circled around their engines. It danced through their ranks with impossible speed and precision. The captains tried to track it. They tried to aim their weapons, but it was like trying to catch wind with their hands. The craft was simply too fast. Jin watched the tactical display. Captain, they are panicking. Their formation is breaking apart. They do not know where to aim. Ho nodded. Sung, activate targeted disruption. Disable their weapons and engines, nothing else. I do not want a single alien harmed. Sung hesitated. Captain, are you sure? If we disable them, they will be helpless. That is the point. They need to understand that fighting us is pointless, that we could destroy them but choose not to. Maybe then they will listen. Sung activated the system. The horizon released controlled electromagnetic pulses as it flew. Each pulse was precisely targeted. Each pulse disabled only what it was meant to disable. One by one, the 50 warships went dark. Weapons failed, engines stopped, shields collapsed, but life support remained active. Emergency systems kept the crews alive. The entire engagement lasted 90 seconds. When it ended, 50 warships drifted in space, powerless and silent. Not a single had died. Not a single hull had been breached. The horizon floated among them, untouched and unharmed. On the Dominion, Grand Admiral watched his display in complete silence. 50 ships, his best captains, his finest crews, defeated in 90 seconds by a single small craft that had not even fired a weapon. Stepped forward, Admiral. Do not speak, said. His voice was empty, hollow, just, do not speak. For the first time in 300 cycles, Grand Admiral felt something he had forgotten existed. Something he had not felt since he was young and weak and small. He felt fear. The news spread across the empire like fire through dry grass. Within hours, every world under rule knew the story. A single unknown craft had appeared from beyond the veil. It had disabled 51 warships without suffering any damage. It had moved faster than any sensor could track. It had weapons that did not kill but simply stopped everything in their path. They called it the Silent One. On the Of Prime, High Counselor sat in his private chambers. He was old, even by standards. He had lived for nearly 800 cycles. He had seen empires rise and fall. He had guided the empire through countless crises. But he had never heard a report like this. Tell me again, said to the messenger. Tell me everything. The messenger was young and nervous. High Counselor, the unknown craft appeared 3 cycles ago at the edge of the Force system. Grand Admiral sent a scanning vessel to investigate. The craft disabled it without weapons fire. The Admiral then sent 50 warships to destroy it. The craft disabled all 50 ships in less than 2 minutes. There were no casualties among our forces. The crews are alive but stranded. No casualties, repeated. They could have killed thousands of our soldiers. Instead, they let them live. Yes, High Counselor. Stood and walked to his window. Outside, the city spread in all directions. Millions of lived there, safe under the protection of the Empire. They believed themselves supreme. They believed nothing could threaten them. They were wrong. What has Grand Admiral done since the attack? Asked. He has held position, High Counselor. The unknown craft has not moved since the engagement. It appears to be waiting. Waiting for what? We do not know, High Counselor. Closed his eyes. In all his years, he had learned one truth above all others. Power was not simply the ability to destroy. True power was the ability to choose. The unknown craft had chosen to spare 50 crews. It had chosen to demonstrate superiority without bloodshed. That was not the behavior of a mindless aggressor. That was the behavior of someone who wanted to send a message. "Send word to Grand Admiral," said. "Tell him to take no further action until the council convenes. Tell him to wait." "Yes, High Counselor." Far across space, aboard the horizon, the crew gathered in the small common room. They had not slept in cycles. The tension was thick in the air. "What now, Captain?" asked. Ho sat at the table, his hands folded in front of him. "Now we wait. We showed them what we can do. The next move is theirs." Engineer Sung leaned against the wall. "They will either attack again with their full fleet or they will try to talk. There is no middle ground." "If they attack with their full fleet, we will disable them all," Jin said. "Our power reserves are at maximum. The horizon can handle anything they throw at us." "That is not the point," Dr. Myra said. "We did not come here to fight. We did not come here to humiliate them. We came here because we had no choice, and now we need to find a way home." Ho nodded. "Myra is right. Fighting serves no purpose. We need them to talk to us. We need their knowledge of this region of space, their star maps, their understanding of local phenomena. Without their help, we could wander for decades and never find Earth." Spoke from the ship's speakers. "Captain, I am detecting a small vessel approaching from the alien fleet. It is not a warship. It appears to be a diplomatic shuttle. It carries no weapons." Everyone looked at each other. "Are they surrendering?" Jin asked. "I do not believe so," replied. "The shuttle is transmitting a request for dialogue. Someone on the alien side wants to talk." Ho stood. "Who is it?" "According to their communications, the shuttle contains Commander, the second-in-command of the alien fleet. He is coming alone. He is requesting permission to board the horizon." The crew fell silent. Allowing an alien aboard was a massive risk. They knew nothing about biology, nothing about their customs, nothing about their potential for violence. But Ho had made his decision long ago. He was an explorer, and explorers took risks. "Let him come," Ho said. "Guide the shuttle to our docking port. Jin, you will be present, but keep your weapon hidden. We will not threaten our guest." "And if he threatens us?" Jin asked. "Then we deal with it, but I do not think he will. He is coming alone, unarmed, to a ship that just defeated 50 of his comrades. That takes courage, or desperation. Either way, he deserves to be heard." The shuttle docked 15 minutes later. The airlock opened, and Commander stepped onto the horizon. He was tall by standards, nearly 2 meters. His skin was pale blue, and he had 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern on his face. He wore a simple uniform with no decorations. His hands were empty. Looked around the corridor with obvious amazement. The walls were smooth and white. The lighting was soft and even. Everything looked clean and efficient in ways that ships were not. Ho stepped forward. "Commander, I am Captain Ho. Welcome aboard the horizon." Stared at him. Human beings looked strange to eyes. 2 eyes instead of 4, pink skin instead of blue. Yet there was something in this human's face that recognized intelligence, confidence, peace. "Thank you for receiving me," said. His words were translated by instantly. "I come without the knowledge of my admiral. He would not approve of this meeting." "Then why are you here?" Ho asked. "Because I need to understand. My people have ruled this galaxy for 12,000 cycles. We have never encountered anything like you. Your ship, your technology, your power. It is beyond comprehension." Paused. His 4 eyes moved across the corridor, taking in every detail. "And yet," he continued, "you did not kill us. You could have destroyed 50 ships. You could have slaughtered thousands of our soldiers. Instead, you stopped us without bloodshed. Why?" Ho smiled slightly. "Because killing is easy. Anyone can destroy, but building understanding, creating peace, finding common ground, that is hard, that is valuable, that is worth fighting for." Was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked the question that had haunted him since the beginning. "What are you?" Ho led into the common room. The crew was gathered there, 6 humans, that was all. 6 small beings from a distant world. "We are humans," Ho said. "We come from a planet called Earth, approximately 80,000 light-years from here. We are not conquerors, we are not warriors, we are explorers, scientists, searchers." Looked at each crew member in turn. He saw at her console, sung by the engineering displays, Myra with her translation equipment, Jin standing guard, his presence in every system. "This ship," said slowly, "this is not a warship." "No, the Horizon is an exploration vessel. We were sent to study a wormhole near our home. The wormhole was unstable. It pulled us in and threw us here. We are lost. We are trying to find our way home." Felt something shift inside him, something cold and terrible. "You are lost explorers," he said. "This ship, this technology that makes our entire fleet look like children's toys, this is what your people use for exploration." Ho nodded. His voice was barely a whisper. "Then what do your warriors use?" The question hung in the air. Ho did not answer. He did not need to. The implication was clear enough. Sat down heavily. His 4 eyes stared at nothing. The Empire had believed themselves supreme. They had believed nothing could challenge them. And now they had learned the truth. Somewhere in the universe there was a species called humanity. They sent ships like this to explore, to search, to learn, and if this was what they used for peaceful journeys, then the universe was far larger and far more dangerous than the Empire had ever imagined. "We need to talk," said finally. "Really talk, because if there are more of your kind out there, everything changes, everything." Ho sat down across from him. "Then let us begin." Commander returned to the Dominion 3 hours later. His mind was filled with impossible facts, impossible truths, impossible futures. He found Grand Admiral in the war room, staring at tactical displays that showed nothing but failure. 50 ships drifted powerless in space. Recovery crews were still working to restore basic functions. It would take days, maybe weeks. "Where have you been?" asked without turning around. Hesitated, he could lie. He could say he was inspecting damage, coordinating repairs. Any excuse would work. But was tired of lies, tired of pretending, tired of the weight of pride. "I went to the unknown vessel," said. "I spoke with their commander." Turned slowly, his 4 eyes burned with anger. "You did what?" "I needed to understand, Admiral. I needed to know what we were facing. And now I do." "You had no authority to make contact. You my orders. You betrayed the chain of command." "I did what I thought was right." Stepped closer. His voice was low and dangerous. "And what did you learn, Commander? What great truth did these silent ones share with you?" Met his gaze without flinching. "They are called humans. They come from a world called Earth, 80,000 light-years away. They are not invaders. They are not conquerors. They are explorers, scientists. They got lost while studying a wormhole and they ended up here by accident." Laughed. It was a harsh, bitter sound. "Explorers, you expect me to believe that vessel is an exploration ship, something that powerful?" "Yes, Admiral. That is exactly what it is. It carries no weapons designed for war. Its technology is advanced beyond anything we understand, but it was built for discovery, not destruction." "Then why did they attack us?" "They did not attack. We attacked them. They defended themselves, and even then they showed mercy. They could have killed thousands of our soldiers. Instead, they disabled our ships and left our crews alive." Was silent, his hands clenched into fists. Continued. "Admiral, I asked their captain a question. I asked what their warriors use if their explorers have ships like this. He did not answer. He did not need to. The implication was clear." "What implication?" "That somewhere in the universe, humanity has warships that make this exploration vessel look small. That if we provoke them, if we anger them, They could return with forces that would destroy everything we have built in 12,000 cycles. Slammed his fist against the wall. I do not believe it. This is a trick, a deception. They are trying to frighten us into submission. Is it working? Turned on with fury in his eyes. You forget yourself, Commander. No, Admiral, I remember myself. I remember that my duty is to protect the Empire. And right now, the greatest threat to the Empire is not that small ship floating in space. It is your pride. The words hung in the air like poison. Spoke slowly. You are relieved of command. Return to your quarters and wait for judgment. Admiral. That is an order, Commander. Leave now. Stood tall. Before I go, answer one question. What do you plan to do? Turned back to the tactical display. When he spoke, his voice was cold and final. I will do what the Empire has always done. I will attack with everything we have. I will show these humans that the Empire does not bow to anyone. You will get us all killed. Perhaps, but I will die on my feet, not on my knees. Now leave. Left, there was nothing more he could say. 1 hour later, Grand Admiral gave the order. Every remaining warship in the fleet moved into position. 349 vessels formed a massive sphere around the horizon. The formation was called the Cage of Stars. It was the largest version ever deployed in history. On the horizon, the crew watched the alien fleet surround them. 349 ships, reported. Complete encirclement, they are charging weapons. Jin shook his head. They really want to try again. Did they learn nothing from last time? Sung checked his displays. Our shields are at full power. Power reserves are at maximum. We can take anything they throw at us. But Captain Ho did not look confident. He looked sad. This is not about technology, he said quietly. This is about pride. That admiral cannot accept what happened. He would rather die than admit defeat. Dr. Myra looked at the display. Captain, what do we do? Ho closed his eyes. He thought about the mission, the exploration, the hope of discovery and understanding. He thought about who had come alone to seek truth. He thought about all the thousands in those ships, soldiers who were just following orders. He did not want to hurt them. He did not want to humiliate them further. But he could not allow his crew to be threatened either. Sung Ho said, prepare the wake protocol. Sung looked up sharply. Captain, are you sure? The wake protocol was designed for extreme emergencies. It will disable every ship in range simultaneously. I know what it does. Prepare it, but do not activate until I give the order. Yes, Captain. The fleet reached attack position. Every weapon was aimed at the small human vessel at the center. 349 ships, thousands of plasma cannons, millions of missiles, the greatest firepower the Empire had ever assembled. Grand Admiral stood on the bridge of the Dominion. His 4 eyes were fixed on the tiny red dot in the center of his fleet. On my command, said, every ship fires, maximum power, all weapons, leave nothing standing. The fleet acknowledged, every captain prepared for the order. Raised his hand, fire. The universe turned white. Plasma beams, missiles, energy pulses, every weapon in the fleet discharged at once. The concentrated firepower was enough to destroy a moon, enough to crack the surface of a planet. The barrage lasted 30 seconds. When it ended, the captains waited for the display to clear. They expected to see debris, wreckage, victory. Instead, they saw the horizon. The small ship floated exactly where it had been. Its shields glowed faintly blue for a moment, then faded back to normal. There was no damage, no marks, nothing. Stared at the display. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Then the horizon broadcast a message. It was translated into automatically. We do not wish to fight, Captain Ho's voice said, but we will not be caged. You have attacked us twice. You have ignored our peaceful intentions. Now we will show you something you will never forget. not to harm you, but to help you understand. Found his voice. All ships prepare for. He never finished the sentence. The Horizon's quantum core activated the wake protocol. A wave of energy rippled outward from the small ship. It was not violent. It was not explosive. It was simply a pulse of carefully calibrated frequencies designed to interact with electromagnetic systems. It washed over the fleet in seconds. Every ship went dark, every engine stopped, every weapon failed, every shield collapsed. Communications died, navigation died, sensors died. 349 warships became 349 drifting hulks, powerless, silent, helpless. On the Dominion, Grand Admiral stood in complete darkness. Emergency lights flickered on after a moment, painting the bridge in red shadows. His officers looked at him. They waited for orders, but had no orders to give. The fleet was dead. The formation was broken. Everything he had built, everything he had believed, had been proven worthless in seconds. One officer spoke hesitantly. "Admiral, the unknown vessel is broadcasting again." "Let me hear it," whispered. Captain Ho's voice filled the bridge one final time. "We are humans. We came in peace and we leave in peace. We did not harm a single member of your crews. Every soldier, every officer, every being in your fleet is alive and safe. We could have destroyed you. We chose not to. Remember that." A pause, then the voice continued. "When you are ready to speak as equals, we will listen. Until then, goodbye." The Horizon's engines glowed. The small ship accelerated away from the broken fleet, moving faster than any sensor could track. In moments it was gone, vanishing into the depths of space. Grand Admiral stood alone in the darkness, surrounded by the ruins of his pride. And for the first time in his long life, he had nothing to say.